Our topic today is a difficult one, but it is so vitally important. It is the behaviour of each of us and everyone online. The reflection is titled See Humanity in Each Person Online. Compassion, empathy, and the lack of better description, seeing God's image in every person with whom we speak, are being lost in the technology-based communications. There is so much hate, so much vile filth is written online, and we must stop. Pope Francis noted in his Pentecostal sermon how much social media has decreased the social, but increased the inhumanity, increased the abuse and verbal degradation in the exchanges between people. The rich and the haves have more and more, while the poor have less. Quote, some have the means and want to live 100 years, while others are so poor they can't even afford to be born, the Holy Father noted. We must become human to one another again, and no longer faceless electrons. We need to put aside these pointless factions and see in each other human features. We need to see in each interaction as being with someone who is like us, a child of God. When some very silly person asks me to describe myself to them online, I tell them this exact script. I am human. I have two of the things that you should have two of, and one of those things which you should have one of. I have two rather well-placed eyes, a well-functioning nose, one mouth with two lips, and an untold number of teeth. I have the same number of extremities with which I was born, though not all function properly any longer. And while I have the requisite 33 vertebrae, many of those are arthritic and no longer functioning. Is there anything else which you wish to know? I've told you some very personal details. In that description, which they stop listening to after the word nose, I tell them quite plainly, I am severely disabled and I can't walk unassisted. Do you want to know, by percentage, how many have heard this? How many hear that I am disabled, and how many hear that I cannot walk? 0. Of those that I actually meet in real life, they all appear surprised when I show up either on crutches or in a chair. And I then proceed to embarrass them because they want something from me, and I want to show them their lack of humanity. We must communicate better. That is, speaking and listening. Not just going after your biased agenda, but actually listening to what the other is saying. If they disagree with you, listen to why. Learn to listen behind the words. Listen to the needs of the person. We must do better, for we've likely already lost most of one generation and are starting to lose the next. And unless we start teaching them now, today, we will lose them completely. You can't teach any child empathy when they don't know it. So that's 2 generations we'll have lost unless we start now, today, immediately. If human society loses the value of justice, the value of compassion, the value of honesty, the next generations will face greater difficulties and more suffering. Therefore, Although bringing about inner change is difficult, it is absolutely worthwhile to try. And what is important is to try our best. Even if we do not achieve what we want, at least we will have made the attempt on the basis of love and less selfishness. Empathy and compassion are hand in glove. It is part of going outside of yourself, seeing the other, seeing value in them, listening, learning, hearing when the other says, I wish you wouldn't say things like that. I wish you didn't belong to that group of hoodlums and thugs, like nationalists. This is the message they're really saying. I value you. You are more than those you lower yourself to hang around with. I love you. I want what is best for you. For what else does a grandmother say? What else does an auntie say? A respected woman elder say? See these women in your life. Listen to them. Respect them at every age.